Hi, everyone. It's me, Tim. Today I want to tell you read you some advanced Dungeons and Dragons questions from Teenage Tim. What? What is this? Are you...
What? What?
Last week's Fun Friday, I had a list of questions that me and the team assembled that we asked WotC about the Temple of Elemental Evil module that we were making into a computer game. That made me wonder, because I know I had done the same thing, I think it was 1980, so I would have been 14, maybe 15. And I had a set of questions that I sent to TSR. Because when I was young, I was super fearless about just sending mail to companies. I have a video on how to get a job where I show you the designs that I sent to Atari when I was 13, I think. And I still have those. I have the designs and I have the response to it. So go watch that video for that. But sometime in 1980, and I don't know exactly when, I sent questions to TSR. These were questions that myself and my friend Joel assembled. Joel and I did most of the DMing in the early stages when we started playing D&D. We also played with Steve and William. And these were questions that usually came up during our sessions. And we'd write them down. And after a while, we realized we had a lot of these. So we put them together. We actually typed them up. I think Joel typed them. We sent them, and they sent them back with an answer. Not answers, an answer. And I'll tell you their answer. It's 2 words when I get to the end. I had to dig these up. Ever since doing the last Friday's fun video, I knew they were somewhere in this house. I knew I had them because my mother keeps everything. And I found them. The original typed copies on the thinnest onion skin paper you've ever seen. I'm surprised it hasn't completely disintegrated. And yeah, there's 4 pages here, and I will read them to you. Just though, if you like this video, thank my mom, because she keeps everything. She kept everything I've ever done. So the only thing physical I don't have is stuff I've lost. So let's get into it, shall we? This was just labeled AD&D questions, and I will go through them one at a time and occasionally make a comment. Question 1. In the monster manual, one of the methods listed for killing a vampire is to cut off its head and fill the mouth with holy wafers. It seems to me that if a vampire's head is cut off, it will be at 0 or lower hit points and would have turned into a gas. What's the deal? Question 2. Do Vorpal weapons affect the undead? What about demons? What about devils? I mean, really, we were like, can you Vorpal weapon a ghost? If you Vorpal weapon a skeleton, does it stop? We couldn't figure that out. Question 3. When a will-o-wisp feeds on the dying life force of a victim, can the person be raised, or has his or her soul been destroyed? Question 4. The wish spell ages a character 3 years per casting. Why is this noted, since another wish could negate the effect? Later on, we decided you can't use a wish to wish away the effects of a wish. So that was our house rule. Question 5. The star card of a deck of many things gives a +2 bonus to the prime requisite of a character. What happens in the rare case where the character has all 18s? Never happened, but we were thinking ahead. Question 6. How deep will Commune with Nature perceive metals and minerals? Yes, we had a druid who threw the spell and asked. 7. Can a 3 intelligence fighter actually talk? By the way, that was I originally made a house rule that they could speak monosyllabically. Go see I have a video on dumb dialogue. Question 8. What happens to a Hydra if it is fireballed? Are all the heads in the area of effect damaged, or just one? Is the damage divided equally among all the heads? This is a good question, I thought. And it happened. Question 9. What is complete surprise? It's mentioned, but never defined. Remember, we're talking about AD&D, so this was Dungeons & Dragons version 1. At the time, we had the Player's Handbook, the DM's Guide, and the Monster Manual. So all these questions come from that. Question 10. At what level of spell ability does a necklace of prayer beads operate with respect to a bead of wind walking? Because the bead of wind walking The windwalking spell mentioned level, but there's no level associated with the necklace of prayer beads. Question 11. What happens to a character if for some reason a prime requisite is reduced below the minimum for that class? Say an illusionist's dexterity drops from 16 to 15. Do they remain that class, or do they become the base class? What if it's a monk? Question 12. What damage is done when one ship is rammed by another ship, or by a whale? I forget where this came up, but we had it happen, and we couldn't figure it out. Question 13. How much damage would a 50-gallon barrel of burning oil do? If figured on a per pint basis, 3 to 18 hit points, it could be as much as 1,200 to 7,200 hit points. This came up in my campaign, and I again apologize to William. I was the DM. I rolled it to 1,200 to 7,200. He saved and only took half, which was 600 to 3,600. He died. Sorry, William. Question 14. When is a saving throw for items made? If a character dies, even though he saved, must a save be made for the gear? Question 15. The Dungeon Master Guide states that a cleric may attempt to fabricate magic items upon reaching 11th level High Priest. This is on page 116. Also in the DMG, same page, it states that the fabrication of magic items may begin at one level higher than the nominal highest. That should be 10th level for clerics, which is correct. We were sticklers. Question 16. Can scrying devices be used to locate objects? The description implied creatures or maybe places. 17. Can cursed swords have special abilities? They never mention it. They just say magic swords. I think if they're intelligent, they got special abilities. But we didn't know about can cursed swords be intelligent. Question 18. Can a hellhound bite and breathe simultaneously? Inquiring minds wanted to know. Question 19. What monsters are summoned by the 9th level spell Monster Summoning 8? There was no chart for it. Question 20. Irish deer. Why? Yeah, we were kind of cheeky teenagers, weren't we? But we had to wonder, with all the other things in the monster manual, why Irish deer? And it came up because at one point, I, as the DM, they opened up a room and I said, you see 2 orcs, a red dragon, and an Irish deer. Not a regular deer, an Irish one. And the players were like, what? Question 21. What is the maximum weight and dimension restriction on a leprechaun's polymorph any object ability? If none, could the leprechaun polymorph a city, a mountain, an entire world? Question 22. Does the 1 to 12 hit point listing for damage refer to the bite or acid damage regarding giant slugs? Question 23. Do thieves' abilities go up after level 17? The chart stops there. Question 24. What is the armor class and hit points of any of the Big B hand spells? Is a 2-hit roll needed for any of them? Question 25. With a shape change spell, 9th level, magic user, can a character become vegetation or a pool of water? We had questions about that pool of water one. We were thinking, what if I turn into a pool of water and someone comes along and drinks some of me and then we cancel the spell? Or what if they pee in me and then they cancel the spell? What? We thought about this. We had discussions about this. Give me a break. We were 14. Question 26. Do all dungeon-dwelling monsters have infravision? Please note, Player's Handbook, page 102. Question 27. On page 104 of the Player's Handbook, parrying is allowed. Please explain. We didn't know what parrying did. We didn't have rules for it. Shouldn't there have been rules? Question 28. Please give several examples of grappling, pummeling, and overbearing. We are very confused by the system. And do monks gain any special bonuses to these attack forms? The DM's guide was very, very unclear. I'm on page 4. Skinny page 4. Question 29. How many places removed is neutral from all the other alignments? This mattered because there was something in the game that measured your alignment distance, and I argued that it was 2 removed from the corners and 1 removed from all the other neutral alignments, where someone in my campaign argued that it was just 1 away from everything because it looked 1 away. And then, as you can see, question 30 is just blank. It just says 30 and there's nothing there. So I thought that was fun. I know some of you may have answers to these questions. Remember, it's AD&D. It's D&D version 1 from, I think they came out in the late 70s. So we wanted questions as pertain to that system. We mailed these in. Joel did this with carbon paper. So there was another copy. He mailed it. So he has the response. And you know what they said? DM's discretion. You know what? We kind of knew that. We wanted some answers to a few of them. We got nada. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fun Friday.